Just wanted to talk a little bit. They got me on IG and on Facebook and pretty much everywhere else that you can possibly go live. What's up, y'all? Yo, we just gonna get into it for a little bit tonight. Have a little late night session. I want you to hang around. If you're here, hang around for a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about calling. Um, I don't know if you caught my conference yesterday. What's up? What's up, IG? What's up, y'all? So I don't know if you caught my conference yesterday. If you didn't, you can still catch it on YouTube. You can catch it on Facebook. You can catch it on Instagram, where we were streaming live there. And I mean, we had a good time. We had some dynamic speakers. And when I was just reflecting, when the conference was over, the entire conference that day was about helping people to understand that you have a very specific call. And I don't think a lot of people get it. Like, I really fundamentally believe that there's a whole lot of us out there who don't really think we have a call. Right. In fact, I just want to hear, like, for those of you all who are logging on and going to rock with me just for about like probably 10, 15 minutes max. Like, if you are clear on your call, like, put some fiery emojis in the chat, raise your hand, give me a pound. Like, if you're clear on your call, I would love to just kind of know, because I probably need to do a study on this joint, because the reality is I think the majority of people do not know what their call is. Like, the majority of people, they know very clearly what their career is. You know, most people, right? Especially if you've gone through college, you kind of know the direction you're going. And so you know what your career is, but I don't think a lot of people know what their call is. And I think what most people do is that we like conflate career and calling. So we kind of mix the two together, and we kind of come away feeling like, well, like, what I've been called to do is my career, but your career is not your call. And like, I want you to get this. And I just felt like I wanted to come on and I want you to get this, because I'm on a personal mission to help people clarify their call. Like, the individual, I want to help you clarify your call, but I want to also help teams and leaders and organizations kind of clarify their call, because I just think when we know what we've been called to do, it just, like, our families are better, like our communities can be better, our churches can be better, our schools can be better when people are extremely clear on their call. And so we were dropping some fire yesterday in the conference, just talking about understanding the difference between your career and your calling, and what one is and what one is not, and how your career is not your calling, but really your career is like the vehicle by which your calling is carried out. It can be one of the vehicles, but even like with your career, when you leave, whether it's the hospital or you leave the school or you leave the courthouse, or wherever you're working, wherever you're serving, wherever you're making your bread and butter, wherever you're getting your bread and butter from, like, when you leave that place and you're driving home, while you may no longer be functioning in that space immediately right then and there, like, your calling still remains. And I just feel like too often what a lot of us do is we look at pastors, because I have been a pastor, we look at pastors and people will say, oh, pastors are called. That's what we'll say. We'll say pastors are called. And we might even go so far to say, like, maybe teachers. Some of us might go so far to say teachers are called. I don't know if I've ever heard of someone saying, like, yo, I've been called to teach. I mean, maybe. But I think a lot of times we look at pastors and we say, pastors have been called. They've been called by God. They've been called to the ministry. And we feel like the calling is, for the pastor, it's specific because they've been called to ministry. They've been called to work at a church. They've been called to serve at a local congregation. And so because the church is spiritual, then the assumption is, well, if you're going to work for a spiritual or in a spiritual organization, then you definitely need to be called. Like, do not become a pastor unless you feel called to be a pastor. But I think that what we've done with that is we've kind of set some people up for failure. Because while, yes, I think that the pastoral ministry, there is a calling to it, I think that all of our lives, like there is a similar call upon all of our lives. That all of us, the same way when I was, in high school, my senior year in high school, 1999, and I felt compelled, like I felt like, man, God is calling me into ministry. It wasn't necessarily something I chose to do. It was almost like a weight that was placed on me, like something pulled me into this. Like I felt called to go into pastoral ministry. And yet I know of like engineers and teachers and lawyers and nurses who would not say like they've been called into their career. And what I want us to get is like, I want you, all of my non-pastor friends out there, I want you to also feel a sense of calling, even though the calling is not to pastor a church, right? But just because you're not called to pastor a church, you still have a call on your life. And so the question is, what is the call upon your life? What is the thing that God, I'm speaking to my believers and my Christians, like what is the thing that God has ordained for you? And this is even beyond Christians. I mean, you don't have to be necessarily a Christian to feel like you have a call from God, so forgive me for that. Like, but what is the thing that you have been ordained to accomplish on this earth? That's what I want us to understand. And I just feel like if we all know exactly what we're supposed to be doing and why we're supposed to be doing it and who we're supposed to be doing it for and through and to, like, we just live better lives. So do you know your call? That's the question. Like, do you fundamentally know what you have been called to do? If you do, I would love for you to like put it in the chat. If you're not quite sure, and this might be bold for some of y'all, but if you're not quite sure of your call, what I actually want you to do, if you would just like humor me, is I actually want you to just put like a question mark like in the chat. Can you just put like a question mark? Like if you're not sure, like you might be sure in your career, but if you don't have like extreme clarity around the call of God upon your life, I would love for you just to put like a question mark. Like don't leave me hanging, y'all, right? Like if you're not sure. Now you might be sure. If you are sure, right, then put like a fire emoji like, yo, I know exactly what I've been called to do. All right? Because essentially what I want to do is I want to help y'all get clear in your calling. Because when you're clear in your calling, it brings your life into focus. Like, hear what I'm saying? Like, I got my YouTube people, my Facebook people here. I got IG here. Listen, when you're clear, I'm about to open this window because I'm getting hot. Like when you're clear on your calling, it brings your life in focus. Like, you now know, like, not just what type of career I should occupy or should pursue, or what degree I should pursue, or kind of what friends I should hang around. Like not only does it clarify all of that, but when you're clear on your calling, it also just really helps to bring your day-to-day activity into focus. I talked about it yesterday. Like, when you have a very clear vision for your life, it fills you with passion. It fills you with energy. It fills you with there's like this energizer buddy inside of you that's just pumping you full of energy because you know why you're here. And you being here is bigger than just punching the clock. You being here is bigger than just putting food on the table. Like, you being here is bigger than all those things, even though it includes all those things, right? But it is also bigger than all those things. Now, I will say this, that I do believe fundamentally that we can be called for a season into things, right? So I can have a call upon my life, and I can say, for this season, God has called me into this area. Like, this is what he has called me to do. I'll be straight up with you. Like, no cap. When I started pastoral ministry back in 2005, when I started pastoral ministry back in 2005, I knew, like, in that moment that God was calling me into pastoral ministry. But I also knew that this was not a lifetime call. This was a seasonal call. Like, I knew in that moment that God was like, yo, I'm calling you into pastoral ministry. I want you to serve at the local church. And I didn't know what was next, like, clearly, because I did it for 15 years. I didn't know what was next, but I knew in this season of my life, this is what God had called me to do. And so for you out there, I don't want you to think that just because you have been called into something that it will be a call forever, right? It may not be a call forever. It may be a call for now, right? Your call may be a call like God saying, hey, in this season of your life, where you are right now, this is what I'm calling you to do. This is where I want you to focus. So for me, it was very clear. Like for me, it was very clear. For the first 15 years of my life, God was like, this is exactly what I want you to do. I didn't know it was gonna be 15, right? I didn't know. I knew it wasn't gonna be forever, but he's like, this is what I want you to do. As I started getting towards the end of those 15 years, I began a shift in my call. I began to sense and to feel a shift in my call. So I went from being like very focused, like, yo, I know God has called me to pastor. And as I was working out pastoring, I began to shift, feeling like, you know what? I feel like my calling is shifting. It's still ministry, right? That's still the umbrella in which all of our calls kind of hang underneath. But the application of the call, the manifestation of the call began to shift. And for me, it shifted from kind of that pastoral ministry to really that personal, administrative, organizational ministry, where now I felt like, you know what, God is really calling me not to necessarily work exclusively with one local church, but I really feel compelled that God is calling me to take my gifts and my talents and my skills to apply them to like the universal capital C church, which is not just the local congregation, but it's also nonprofits and faith communities and organizations and small businesses that are all trying to build up the body and build up the kingdom of God in our communities. And so my call began to shift. And what I want to say to you is that I don't want you to think that once you discover God's call for your life, that it's a call forever. Now, it might be a call forever, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it might just be a call for now. But whether it's a call forever or a call for now, what you cannot afford to do is to not get clear about your call. Like, you have to know with certainty, like, this is what I am here to do. This is what I have been called to accomplish in this season or in this phase of my ministry, my life. Now, again, I don't want you to confuse calling with being a pastor or working for a church or any of that. Like, it's very clear. Like, I got some dope friends, right? Kimon Hines is one of my dope friends. It's very clear. Kimon Hines, he has a calling on his life to help people bring their ideas to life. Literally, that's his business, ideas to life. I got a dope friend, Joseph Namwange. Joseph has a call on his life to help teach the Black and brown community financial literacy so that they can leave a financial legacy for their children's children. Like, that's his call on his life. And it has nothing to do with the local church. He's not up there preaching on Saturday or Sunday, but he is living out that call. I got another dope friend, Jeremy Anderson. Jeremy Anderson's very clear. Yo, the call of God on my life is to transform these kids in these public schools, right? And to raise up a generation of motivational speakers who will also transform public schools. He's not necessarily pastoring a church. You might look at him and say, wow, he's pastoring school districts, but he's clear on his call. I got another dope friend, Myron Edmonds. Myron Edmonds is like, yo, the call of God on my life in this season, it wasn't always, but in this season, is to help men win in the things that matter. So I want the men in my life to be men of integrity, to be the husbands of one wives, to be free from pornography and sexual sin, to live lives of high moral standard, to know who they are and what they've been called to do. And so it's very clear that's the call on his life. Yes. Neil, everyone has a call, but it looks different for each person. Yes. But it's all about how can God wanting to leverage your life to add value. I got some dope friends who, one of them, she's like, listen, I feel like God has called me to help moms organize their lives. Like, bonkers. Right? And so when I go to her Instagram, like, her entire Instagram is about providing moms and stay-at-home moms tips and tools and tricks for how they can keep their home life organized. And she's like, this is my contribution to the world. This is my contribution to the world. And I don't think many of us really think about our lives that way. I don't think we think about our lives from a, like, this is my contribution to the world. right? But we have to think about our lives that way. We desperately need to think about our lives that way, right? I got another dope friend, Jamie Colasar. It's very clear. Like his call on his life is to like fight for social justice and to educate people along the lines of social justice and to help destroy some of these systematic barriers, racial barriers that have kept so many black and brown people in poverty. Like it's very clear he knows the call on his life. And what I want for you is I want you to know the call on your life. I want you to know the call on your life. Yes. What is God calling you to do? Right? John and April Nixon, my man, the Austins, like they're called to marriages. They're called to restore families. Right? That's who they are. That's in their core what they've been called to do. And so if you don't know your call, like I like beg of you, like for real. Like I beg of you, don't go another day, another week, another year, God forbid, another year without getting clear on your call, without getting clear on this is my great contribution to the world. This is what God has called me to. Yeah, I'm a nurse. Yeah, I'm a teacher. Yeah, I'm a doctor, lawyer. Yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home dad. Yeah, I'm a professor. I'm a student. But all of those careers or those jobs, they are serving a greater, higher purpose, which is helping you to carry out the call of God upon your life. And when you get clear on your call, not only does it give you focus on how you're supposed to spend your days and what you do, it also gives you extreme clarity on what you're not going to do. How you're not going to spend certain days and energy and money and resources doing other things because it's not aligned with your call. Now, this is the crazy thing, right? I'm almost done. This is the crazy thing. I want you to catch this. Because a lot of times, what you and I will do is we will, when you're dating, right? We will date people based off of a slew of characteristics, but none of them have nothing to do with calling. So I want to date someone that I'm compatible with. I want to date someone that like I am, that, we're she's attractive, he's attractive, like we have the same values, financial values. We might come from the same religious background. We got similar, we maybe grew up together, we got similar interests. But like how many times have you heard a couple saying, man, the thing that really, like, the reason why I chose her or the reason why I chose him is because our calls, not only is she fine, not only is he fine, right? That's important, right? Facts, that's important. But like our calls are so aligned. Like what he has been called to do and what I have been called to do are so closely aligned that like it's a no-brainer. I need to spend the rest of my life with this person because we have mutually aligned calls. Like that is dope. And I gotta be honest, I married a ton of couples before in my 15 years of pastoral ministry. And real talk, I don't know how many of them that I've actually had that type of conversation with. Like we go over like the, what's that marriage joint called? Where like they have you do all those surveys. Somebody put it in the chat. What's that marriage joint called? Where they have you like do all the questions. I forget. Preparing to Rich. Like I'll have them do Preparing to Rich. I want to know your family background. I want to know who your mama was, who your daddy was. I want to know what you think about sex. I want to know what you think about money. I want to know what you think about raising kids. But there's not a whole lot out there that says, what is your call? Like, I know what your career is, or okay, she wants to be a doctor, or she wants to be a teacher, or he wants to be this or that, or he's an administrator, or he's an engineer. Like we're clear, like we know what each other's careers are, but really the only reason why we're hooking up is because she's cute, he's fine, we have good chemistry, whatever that means. We have good chemistry, we get along, we laugh together, he makes me laugh, right? We meet each other's needs, mental, physical, psychological needs. Let's get married. Let's spend the rest of our lives together. But we ain't had no conversations about our call. Now, facts, like this wasn't intended to be a conversation about like dating, but I say that because I think that if you're in that stage, it is so important, young to old, that you understand who you have been called, what you have been called to do, and that you don't just hook up with people that aren't in agreement with your call. Do not just hook up with people who are not in agreement with your call. You want to hook up with people who are aligned with who you have been called to be. Now, you might say, okay, I get it. I need a call. I need to have clarity around my call. How do I get clarity around my call? How do I better understand like my great contribution to this world and what I've been called to do? Great question. We dealt with in the conference, understanding your story, understanding your gifts, understanding your shape, putting it in a blender, blending it up, seeing how it all works together and gels together, pouring it out. That's your call. If you want more detail than that, listen, I want to invite you to jump into my clarity challenge. 3-day clarity challenge. Boom, there it is. No excuses. 3-day clarity challenge starting next week. Going to be laying foundation for folk. This is the steps that you can take. So at the end of the 3 days, it's very clear in your mind, this is what I have been called to do. Facts. If you don't know your call, if you are not extremely clear in your call, you need to be in that challenge. Now, let me just tell you that I'm not preaching to you something I don't believe in and live in myself. Let me just tell you this, right? I know what my call is. I have been called to lead leaders to discover their kingdom contribution. Leading leaders to discover their kingdom contribution. My 2 words that I live by, creating clarity. Those are the 2 words that I live by. So everything I do, every job I take, every contract I sign, every person that I work with, every team that I show up and help them lead through strategic planning or leadership development, I do so through the lens of I have been called to create clarity. And what that looks like is me leading people, leaders, individuals to understand what their kingdom contribution is. That's why I'm on this live right now, is because I am fulfilling my calling. Because I feel like the same way, Jeremiah was like, yo, it's like your word is like fire shut up in my bones. I feel similarly that I just can't go through life and see so many of my friends and family and my followers on Facebook and Instagram, and you're just scrolling, you're posting, vacay pic, food pic, you know what I'm saying, what you're wearing to school pic, what you're wearing to work pic, what you're doing today pic, but there's no call behind it. Like there's no passion behind it. There's no fire behind it. Right? So really understanding like life is more than just, life is more than what you just eat and drink. Like understanding the great call in your life should be your highest priority if you don't know what it is. It should be your highest priority. Highest priority. It focuses your life. It helps you get clear, right? It helps you get clear. So I want to tell you, jump in this clarity challenge. It's only 3 days where we're going to be laying some groundwork. There's a cost to it. There's a price to it. It's not free, right? There's a price to it, but you spend a whole lot more money on stuff that means absolutely nothing to you. And this is the real question that we got to ask ourselves. What is the cost of not doing it? Like for some of you on right now, like you might be clear on your call. And so if you're clear, like if you know this is who I am, when I wake up with passion. I wake up with focus. I wake up with intentionality. I wake up with like clarity of thought and clarity of mind. I got my to-do list, right? I'm checking things off. I got my planner, right? I got my bucket list. I got my 3-year plan, my 5-year plan, my 90-day plan. Like if that's you, then respect 100. Respect all day long. But if that ain't you, if you don't got a 3-year plan, you don't got a 5-year plan, you don't got a 90 days, you don't got a bucket list, you don't got a take action wall, you're not living by a script, you're not living by a planner, like you're just going through the days, punching the clock, picking the kids up, dropping them off, getting them to soccer practice, taking them to ballet, like this is for you. There is more to life than that. Facts. There's more to life than that. And so I want you to catch this in your spirit, y'all. I want you to catch this in your spirit, that God has called you to more than that. So jump over to myclaritychallenge.com and sign up. Sign up. We only got a couple spots. We're not packing it out. I think we're taking like 25 spots. So jump over to My Clarity Challenge, because I want to help you. Like let me help you, right? Let me help you get clear on your life. You will not. You will not regret it. We set resolutions beginning of the year. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to make some extra money. I want to, spend more time with the family. And all those resolutions are good. But the way that you can really make sure that your resolutions actually come to pass is to not make random resolutions based off of how you're feeling in that moment or based off of some image of someone else that you see and you kind of want your life to be like that. The way that you make resolutions stick is by connecting them to your call. To say, listen, I've been called to help people discover their calling. I've been called, personally, Seth, I've been called to create clarity. That's what I do. To lead leaders to discover their kingdom contribution. That's my personal mission. To lead people to discover their kingdom contribution. How you're adding value to this world is what I'm here to help you accomplish. So my resolutions are directly connected to my personal call. So every resolution I came up with this January, whether it was losing weight, making more money, doing, starting this, writing this book, finishing this course, doing these challenges, it was all connected to the reason why I'm doing it. I knew my why, because I want to help people get clear. I want to help people get clear. So listen, I'm open. You got some questions, some thoughts. You wanna throw them at me? I'm gonna stay on just for a few more minutes. Talk to me in the chat. What's going on? What's going on? Austin, what's up, y'all? What's up, Britt? I miss y'all. I miss y'all. My Relove family. What y'all thinking? You know your calling? You know what you're doing? Is it clear in your mind, your heart, your spirit? Are you clear? Right? If you're not clear, listen, there's too much at risk, too much at stake. Don't let another day go by. Get clear on that call. Listen, it's too much. God has poured out too much on your behalf. And he's like, don't just work a dead-end job. And you could be like, have a dope career. Like you could be like a dope, doctor, lawyer. You could be like a dope engineer. You could be like a dope, police officer, chief, a captain. Like you could be a dope military, general. Like you could have a dope career. You could be like principal, superintendent, operating at the top of your game, and that joint still be dead end. Facts. It can still be dead end because it's not in alignment. It's not like it's not an expression of the call. It's just, I want to become a doctor because I want to make a bunch of money. I want to get nice cars. Okay, cool. Like, cool. Do you, but just understand there's more to life. There's more to life. And once you understand your call, it might still lead you down that path of becoming a doctor, becoming an engineer, becoming a teacher, but your why is so much different. I'm not doing it because somehow I'm trying to validate myself. I'm not doing it because somehow I'm trying to obtain this degree or obtain this career, obtain this 6-figure, 7-figure income so that I can somehow validate who I am. No, I'm doing it because it's an expression of what I have been called to do. All right? It's an expression of what I have been called to do. My career is a result of my gifts and my skills and my talent and my passion and my interest and all of those things converging into one, and it manifests itself in the world by me showing up Monday morning, 9 a.m. It manifests itself in the world by me showing up into that classroom or by me showing up in the hospital and taking care of those patients, by me showing up doing these things. That's what the call really looks like, as opposed to I'm just doing these things because I'm trying to get paid or I'm trying to make money or, as some type of social status, and you're doing it for some type of validation. That can still be a dead end job because it's not flowing out of your core. So I want to tell you, if you don't know your call, you might have a career, you might have a degree, but if you don't know who you are called to be and the contribution that God has called you to make into this world, I want you to jump in this challenge, right? Facts. I want you to jump in the challenge. Yes, I like that, Jason. Yes, sir. Following my unique calling, effortless inspiration. Yeah, it's like you're in that flow state, man. When you know your call, it's It just flows. You just know what you've been called to do. And I will say this, like, I like that. I will say this, that there is a component where I might say to myself, I know what the call is. I know what the call is. I'm going to leverage this career to help fund the call and to help move the call forward. That's dope game too. You can do that. I'm gonna work this job, and I'm gonna work this job to fund this calling, and this job is gonna be the vehicle by which I carry the calling through into the rest of the world. That's dope too. You can do that. You can do that. Where's the challenge? myclaritychallenge.com. My Clarity Challenge. Check the link in my bio. myclaritychallenge.com. It's a 3-day challenge. Yo, we're meeting in the evenings for a couple hours, 3 days in a row, and we're just gonna start working through who you are, your story, your gifts, your passion, understanding your shape, understanding your context. Where do you thrive when you show up? What gives you life? What area, what context do you really thrive? Are you more structured, unstructured, entrepreneurial, or more, structured, professional, corporate job? Like, we deal with all of that stuff. But let me just give you like a sneak peek glimpse at this joint. One of the things that we're gonna really be hammering home in this challenge, that I haven't said yet, so y'all are getting like the first scoop right now, is one of the things that we're going to be dealing with in this challenge that I believe is like the most important thing when it comes to calling. The most important thing when it comes to calling. Mindset. We're going to be spending a lot of time understanding who we are and the beliefs that we bring to the table. Because the reality is that some of you all, you don't think you have this call because your mindset says you're not special. Your mindset says, well, I'm not a pastor. I'm not called. I'm not a minister. I'm not called. And so you have this broken, poverty, poor mindset. Yo, no cap. Don't mean to offend anybody. That's just facts. You have a broken belief system about yourself, about the world around you. You feel like you're not valued. You have no voice. You feel like no one, like you're not a leader. You can't influence people. And so because of your broken thought processes and the broken mental map in your mind is leading you down this road to feel like, I'm just an average Joe. I'm just like, I have no special calling. But I'm telling you, like, if you were created by God, if you believe that you were created by the Creator, you are not an average Joe or Jane. Facts. You're not an average Joe or Jane. That you were created with divine design. The problem, listen, I'm giving y'all too much information right now. The problem is that along the way, we picked up this broken system. We picked up this broken belief system that says, well, this is who I can't be, and these limiting beliefs and these subconscious defeating thoughts that have been eating away at our understanding of who we are, undermining our belief in our ability, our potential, and our call. And I gotta be honest with you, y'all. Like, your boy is subject to it too. I was just texting some of my friends just yesterday, like, yo, I'm subject to this thing too. Every day I'm fighting against my limiting beliefs, and I'm against this great inner enemy that's inside of me telling me that I need to do more in order to be more valuable, or to somehow validate my manhood, or I need to make more. I need to be, everything has to be perfect in order for it to be, pleasing and acceptable. I got this perfectionistic. I'm still fighting that thing every single day. But the difference between someone like me and so many of us out there is like, I have the tools to fight it. And what I want to do in this challenge is I want to give you the tools to fight it. So I'm going to be giving you those things. I'm going to be giving you the tools, how you can identify those beliefs, how you can turn the volume down on those beliefs, right? So that it's not like a pair of headphones like blaring in your ear. Like, no, we want to turn that joker down. We want to turn that joker down so that we can truly hear the greatness that God has called us into be. And we're not having to battle these self-defeating, limiting beliefs on a daily, monthly, weekly basis. So, yo, jump in the challenge. My man Ben, yo, what's up, Ben? Benjamin Lundquist, he came on. He was on yesterday. If you missed it, he dropped some straight knowledge. Thank you, Ben, for coming and just blessing the people, right? Rise and Lead. Look him up. Go to his IG Facebook page. Follow him. Game changer. Great thinker. Great mind. Great leader. Great inspiring person. Motivational speaker. Follow him. So, yo, Nicole, you win the challenge. I see you. Homie. You win the challenge. You win it. I saw it came through. You win it. We gonna get this thing. So, yo, I'm about to jump off. I gotta put these kids to bed. Real talk. That's a part of my call. I gotta put these kids to bed. Help the wife clean the kitchen, straighten up, get ready for tomorrow. But yo, if you don't know your call, my clarity challenge. Jump in it. Let's get it. I might jump back on tomorrow live around the same time. In fact, I might just bring a word tomorrow. I don't know. I ain't preached in a while. You know, I'm not a pastor. I'm not a pastor anymore. I mean, I'm still a minister, but I don't have a church. I don't have a congregation, so I'm not a pastor anymore. But I might just bring a word. I might just bring a word tomorrow, just to inspire some folks. So such a reminders. Stay tuned. Yes, a part of my calling is calling me right now. Yo, I'm out, y'all. Peace.